Alright, welcome back, boys and girls. It's your main math man, Mr. Shine, coming to you live from Mayfield, and we're closing out this study guide on page number 4, and it says which expression, which of the following is not equivalent to negative 3x plus 1. And so I'm going to give you a little spoiler. It's going to be the choice B, and again, you can kind of see that by doing the following. Again, you make the distributive property first, and so we're going to do negative 1 times a positive 4. That's a negative 4, and then a negative 1 times x is a negative 1x. And then again, you write the rest of the expression. So make sure, again, if you need to write that 1 attached to the x for yourself, so that makes it a little bit easier, please do. Again, we group those like terms, and so we have 3 negative x's and 1 negative 1. And so we know that that is not equivalent to negative 3x plus 1. And so we can select B for that one. In number 6, it says select all 3 correct answers. So you need to make sure that you're picking 3. Again, if you pick 1 or 2 or 4 or however many, that's not 3. It's not going to be right, so you must select 3. Alright, so which expression simplify to 2x minus 3? And so it's going to kind of make this L shape, but you kind of see it here. Alright, so you have for number 6, again, make sure you can use that distributive property. And so I did 0.5 to show for 1/2. So I do 0.5 times 6x, that's going to be 3x. And then I do 0.5 times 2, which is 1. And then again, I just kind of write that along with the rest of the expression. So I had 3x plus 1 minus x minus 4. Again, you can kind of box in your variable terms, circle your constants. That way you can kind of see what your like terms are. And that simplifies to 2x minus 3. So I put a nice green check to show what that looks like. And so I'm going to go the one right below it. One right below it also works out. Again, all you have to do is still distribute. And so we had a negative 1 times negative 2x. Again, same sign is positive. And we do negative 1 times a positive 3. Different signs, negative. And so we have positive 2x minus 3. Again, that one gets another check, and you know you're good. And then the third answer that we want to pick is that one to the right of it. And so we actually had, I believe that's a 1x plus 1 minus 3x plus 2x minus 6 plus 2 plus 2x. Again, that's a lot of terms, so that's okay as long as you're combining the like ones, meaning they have to have an x in them or a common variable. And so I combined 1x, a negative 3x, 2x, and another 2x together. Again, that should result in a positive 2x. And then I combine my constants, so I have 1, negative 6, and a positive 2. And so that will end up with a minus 3. So that should actually be a minus 3, which is what we're looking for, which is why I checked it off. Moving on. For number 7, it says simplify each expression and then match those together. And so let's see. I think I had this kind of broken down. Oh yeah. So I have for the first one, I have, let me kind of move this up a little bit and move this up and this up. All right. Maybe make it a little bit bigger so that way it's easier to see. And now we're good. Alright, so again, it gives you the original expression, which I do the distributive property first. So I'm doing negative 3 times a positive 2 is negative 6. And I do a negative 3 times a positive x is negative 3x. And again, I write that with my original expression, combine like terms, and simplify. And so I should end up with a negative 4x, which is or negative 4x minus 2, which is D. So for this first one, it's going to be D. All right. So now, for that second one, Let's see what we can get. All right, for the second one, it has just has a list of terms, so you don't have to distribute, but you do want to make sure that you can combine like terms next. And so I do my variable terms, 1x minus 3x plus another 1x is going to be a negative 1x. And I combine my constants together. Again, those twos cancel out. Again, those positive and negative, and you're left with negative 1. So that is a negative 1x minus 1, which is b for that second one. Alright, for the third one, a little bit trickier, but make sure if you need to, you can use that Desmos calculator to kind of work with these fractions multiplied together. So I did 1/3 times 6, which is the same as 6 divided by 3, which is 2x. And I do negative 3 times a 1/3 is negative 1. And then I have 1/2 times a negative 2x is negative x. And I do 1/2 times 6 is 3. Again, combine your like terms. I kind of pushed them all on one side. And so I have 1x plus 2, which is a. So for that third one, I have an a. And obviously, you know that this last one is going to be a c, but you can always make sure you can kind of see how this works out. So we have 3x minus 2x plus 3 plus another 1. Again, that should simplify to x plus 4. All right, so now, moving on, last couple problems in here. We're going to simplify the expression 4x plus x plus 5 minus 6. And so, again, you want to make sure you combine those like terms. So I boxed in my variables, and I circled my constants. So I have 5x minus 1, which is that answer choice D. And the same idea for number 9. It says simplify the expression. Again, you can use those algebra tiles for yourself if you need to go back and kind of see what those look like, please do. As 5x minus 3x plus 3 minus 4 minus x minus 1. Again, I box in my variable terms and show I do end up with a positive 1x, and then I get minus 2. Alright, so now it says select the two answer choices that are equivalent to 8x plus 3. Alright, so again, I kind of, let's see, believe I can kind of peel away. So again, I kind of X'd off the ones that are not correct. And so, alright, so that second one on the right, is good. So let's actually keep only that one open. Alright, so it has 1.5x times 4x, or excuse me, 1.5 times 4x, that's 6x. And then we have 1.5 times 6 is 9. Again, write it below as part of the whole expression. I do 2 times x is 2x. And I do 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. So again, anytime you see these grouping symbols, you want to make sure you can always think multiply. So I'm multiplying each of these inside terms by the outside amount. Again, group those like terms together. So 6x plus 2x is 8x, and 9 plus 9 minus 6 is 3. Alright, let's see what the other ones are. Sorry, so that one's not good. That one is good. Alright, so the one right below it is good. So we do 3 times 3x is 9x. And we do 3 times a positive 1 is 3. And so we have 9x minus x is that 8x. And we have that plus 3, which is what we're looking for. So again, you're only looking for those two equivalent ones. So it's those middle two. Again, if you want to see those other ones, to see what they do end up being, there you go. Again, I made a note for myself. I'm saying we're looking for 8x plus 3. So again, I just kind of put a red X by the ones that are not what we're looking for. All right. Last but certainly not least is our last one of this study guide. So it has this. It says simplify the expression. It has 3 plus 2 times quantity 2x plus 3. Then it has minus 4 times the quantity x plus 2. And so where are we at here? So I do my distributive property first. And so I do a positive 2 times a positive 2x is positive 4x. I do positive 2 times a positive 3, which is a positive 6. Then I have a negative 4 times a positive 1x, different signs. I have negative, and so it's a negative 4x. I have negative 4 times positive 2, which ends up being a negative 8. Again, I write what is inside those boxes as one expression, and so then I group those like terms together. So I do 4x positive and a negative 4x combined cancel out, and then I have 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 minus 8 is 1. So your answer choice would be A.